Welcome, guys, to ILW Pod. I'm your host, Justin Wright. Today's guest on the podcast, he works with the A4 down in Georgia. We have Rave. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Good to be here.
Good. I've had a lot of, guys from the A4 down there in Georgia come and join me on the podcast. I want to start by just saying thank all of you. You've been big supporters. Of just getting this podcast thing off the ground, and you guys have helped me out a lot, and I appreciate it.
Hey, we appreciate you. Appreciate just putting this out there and just getting this recognized. Appreciate
No,
it.
that's the love of this. The inspiration from the podcast was, to get the names of independent stars out there. There's, a ton of you guys out there, but if we can get some of you on a podcast and get your story out there, maybe it'll help you get there faster than others.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Before we get into like the questions and stuff, is there any social medias that you want to plug or any upcoming events?
You can follow me on my Instagram, which is RAIV84. That's pretty much my main one I really have right now.
Okay.
And any events, I'm going to hit up RIPW not this weekend, next coming weekend. That's the only thing I've planned at the moment.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll make sure to, throw those in the description so they know where to find you.
Cool,
Um,
appreciate it.
I like to start off with the generic first interview question for wrestling, and that's when did you know you wanted to wrestle, man?
When did I know I wanted to wrestle? Really, I've always was intrigued with wrestling as a kid. But I think what really got me into wrestling was have to be my favorite wrestler of all time, of course, Scott Hall, rest in peace. But I remember he debuted as a Razor Ramon, and as watching it as a kid, I was like, "Yo, this is something I could look like I want to do when I get older and everything." But as I got older, things started to change, and I was like, "Okay, this looked like just something you have to know somebody or whatever just to do it." And then it was not probably like 4 years ago when I took my sons to their first indie show and watching it, it was we saw Swerve, he was there. Uh the match he had with Adam Cole, it was a very awesome match. And Street Profits, that's when they was there, and I was like, yo, this is a good it's a cool show and everything, but watching there, being there, it was like I got the feeling. I was like, yo, I can do this. I think I can do this. And I started doing my research, and the homeboy of mine told me about WWA4. And I said, okay, let me go there and check it out. And then went there, met AR Fox, and it was done right there.
So, like, as far as getting your start, was it as simple as, I've heard some people just walk in the A4 and that's the start. Like, AR Fox is just ready to have you.
Yeah, people come in, they talk to him, they get to know him, and he'd be like, hey, if you want to join, just let him know. He'll hook you up and everything, set you up with the plan and everything. And he ready. He's ready to train you. He's like always ready to train you. He's ready to work with you and just ready to show everybody, especially young or old, show everybody what he's learned.
What's it like working at the A4? Like, what's the process kind of look like as far as like learning?
As far as learning, you start off, of course, at the basics with the drills, like learning your basic movement, pretty much getting your endurance up, ready for the ring, and ring ready and everything because and of course, that's important. And then because, if you can't get your endurance up, you won't be able to, pretty much work out and do a match and put on a good show and everything. Uh, as far as, and the one important thing he does teach us is the psychology of wrestling, which is awesome. I love the way he teaches that. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of pretty much everything he teaches.
Okay. What's it like being able to work under somebody like Fox? Like somebody who's been instrumental in not only the indie scene, but wrestling now as we see it. Like, what's that
Yeah.
like?
Ooh, it's heavy.
Yeah.
It's like you look up to him. It's like, yo, this is someone I've seen him on TV many times before even coming here. Okay, I remember he was on Lucha Underground. I saw him there. And I was like, oh man. And when I first met him, I was like, this is AR Fox. And I'm really going to be training on the AR Fox. So this is going to be it's a ride. It's like it's literally it's an excitement. Gets you pumped, and it's like, yo, seeing someone teaching you, and then seeing them teaching you, and then showing, and then applying it to their matches on TV, and seeing it is like, yeah, he really is getting us ready for the what he's showing us.
So like since you've been working at the A4, have you got like other opportunities, whether it's in your area or to spread your wings out any?
I've gotten to wrestle in Alabama a match. That was a tag match. That was a good match. I've gotten to wrestle at a company that was in Macon, Georgia. That used to be in Macon, Georgia. It was GIPW. That was I've wrestled there. I think for the longest. I've been there on and off. I've been there for a minute, and it's a couple of shows. I wrestled at one at a video game convention. That was interesting. That was pretty fun, and that's about it.
Okay. Um, so you've only been wrestling now for what, 4 years now?
About four, yeah, about 4 years.
Four
About four
years.
years now.
What, sorry, what is it like, trying to get your name out there? Like, what's that like?
It's all about just pretty much getting out there, getting your feet in the door, pretty much just putting in the work. It's easy at the same time it's not easy. That makes sense. Because you can go somewhere over and over, and people, if they click with the crowd, click with you, if anybody click with you, then yeah, you'll become a known person. But if like you go there and like you're not putting in the work or whatever, or you're not clicking with the crowd, then you can easily be forgettable. So it's like again, like I said, it's easy at the same time it's not easy. It's just about how hard you work, how hard you want your name out there.
Okay. You mentioned being a father.
Yes.
What's it like being a dad and also in a business like in a business that's so taxing?
It's honestly not really that hard.
Okay.
Cause my sons, especially my oldest son, because he looks up to it. He wants to be a wrestler too. He's mostly with me at a lot of places when I go to like certain companies and wrestle. He's pretty much always there with me. And my youngest two, I try to get them into it. They're like, but it's really it's really my oldest because he wants to follow in his footsteps. So it's like really being a father and wrestling for me it goes hand in hand because it's like I can show them like you pretty much do anything you want to do. If this is what you want to do, just put your mind to it and just go for it.
So like yeah, I've heard a lot of parents or fathers, mothers in wrestling, say that they wouldn't want their kids to do it. Like, how do you feel like about your son wanting to get involved in it?
I'm excited. If you hear one to get involved, I'm excited. Uh, at an A4 show for like his 12th birthday, we had put on a match for him. It was actually a father son match. Fox allowed it, and I was like, yeah, me and him had a match. And I saw how quick he learned and how good he did it. I was like, yeah, yeah. When he turns the age, I'm going to sign him up. I'm like, definitely want him to do it. Like it's something I could see him pretty much blowing up with it and
Is
just running with it.
is that match on your Instagram?
It's on it's on my YouTube channel actually. It's on
Okay.
YouTube.
I don't know.
I
I
got that.
I was going through your Instagram earlier, just freshening up,
Yeah.
and
I may have clips of it on my Instagram.
I
I'm not
think
really
I saw
sure.
him hit you with a sling blade on there, and it looks
Yeah,
sick.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's yeah,
I wasn't sure if it was your kid or not. I was like, that boy's got some moves.
yeah, that's hell, yeah,
Um, it's cool to see somebody, that is pushing for younger people to do it, especially a father in the business, also trying to get, or willing to help their son get in the business because you don't hear that a lot.
yeah, yeah. You know, it's like a lot of parents want their kids to do, I guess, what they think is best for their kids instead of letting your child choose and letting them be themselves and say, what do you want to do? That's why I pretty much ask all three of my kids, like especially my oldest, because he's closer to that age, 13. So I'm like, yeah, just think about what you want to do and just work towards it. Go for it.
It's good to hear it because, like, my biggest inspiration for doing the podcast even is my dad. It's something I didn't think of, and he was like, "Son, you love wrestling, and right now I can't physically do it. I got some medical conditions and stuff. I can't." He was like, "Go talk to him," and then so like I can say, son wise, being a son, having a father that pushes you to go do that, it means the world. And I'm sure it does for your son as well.
Yeah, I know it does. That's good to hear. I'm glad your father's there and he's pushed you to doing this because it looks like you have something good going.
I'm working on it. It's a growing process.
Get there, yeah, get there.
A fun question I like to ask you guys is, there's countless of matches, like match types
Uh,
in wrestling. Well, do you have a favorite match type?
I have a favorite match type. The hard question. I really don't
Okay.
because I can pretty much. I like if I'm just in the ring and just doing whatever. I'm ready. It's like I can do a hardcore. The only thing I can say I've never done a death match before. I kind of don't see myself doing those type of matches yet. It's kind of like working up the courage to do those type of matches, of course. But yeah, any match you throw at me, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to go.
Is there a match you haven't got to do yet that you like look forward to?
Have not gotten to do a ladder match yet.
Something told me, you mentioned Razor Ramon earlier. I was like, something tells me he's gonna want to do a ladder match.
Yeah, yeah. So I have not gotten to a ladder match yet. I would. That's something I would want to do. I want to do.
Another fun thing I like to do on the show is like kind of like a character breakdown. Like
Okay.
if you could sum up yourself, what would it be, well, character wise?
My character Rave, sum him up. He's pretty much he's just all around just a fighter. He wants to fight. He loves to fight. That's what he's born and bred to do. He's not like I know a lot of other characters that like they come up from a certain background, whatever. They're like they've been bullied or like whatever. Nah, not him. He was born a warrior. That's what he wants to do. He just want to fight.
Okay. With that said, like you as a fighter, how does that incorporate into like creating a move set and honing the character, whether like in the ring?
Honestly, it's for me. It's still a work in progress. I'm still even after 4 years, it's still certain things I'm still trying to figure out with this character and trying to learn. I feel like I'm getting close. Uh, as far as the move set, I do a lot of study with certain wrestlers I want to model him after or model myself after, like Taz, Kurt Angle, even Dean Malenko, like technical and brawling style type fighters like that or wrestlers. Those are the main. That's pretty much the main three I've been looking at for right now. I'm still like trying to plug other stuff in, still looking, and I'm just trying to get better.
Something I noticed by doing a little bit of research, specifically about the A4, a couple, it was a little over a couple months ago now, but Darby and Sting I believe, showed up and attacked AR Fox. Was you there?
Yeah, I was not. I was injured at
Dang, I was
that
wanting to
time.
see what that was like.
And when I saw it on YouTube, when I said saw the show live, I was like, oh, I wish I was there. I had that was right after I had tore my Achilles.
Okay.
And I was like, I was out for about a year. I was like, man. But yeah, I was out with an injury, but seeing that, I was like, yeah, the A4 is going places. Yeah, we're growing.
It's definitely got to bring a lot of eyes to the facility.
Yeah, yes, it does. Having doing something like that, having especially a legend like Sting, there to step in our doors and do and in our ring to do a spot with Fox, yeah, that definitely put us on the map. I feel I was like, yeah, they're watching us. We're being watched by pretty much everybody.
Have you got more, people to show up and stuff since that? Has that helped? I don't want to say business wise, but has it helped at all?
Yes, it has. We've gotten a lot of new people come through the four now, and like I said, it's growing, and then I feel like it's going to continue to grow too. So it's going to be, yeah,
You mentioned growth. With growth tends to be goals. Is there any goals you got? Whether we'll start with short term. Is there any short term goals you got?
any short term goals is just be. I just want to be, would say, big locally, just here in Georgia or in the South. I would say, and that's pretty much it. Just be a household name in the South.
Okay. Is there any long term goals? Like, would you say like a
I do.
television?
Yeah, television would be nice. I would like to sign with, even if it's not like the big companies like WWE or AEW, TNA, NWA. I'm open to any of those companies as well.
Okay. I've heard of guys. I just talked to a guy actually the other day that does a lot of extra work to get, recognized. Is that something that you've ever thought about doing?
Uh, that is it is something I thought about doing extra work to get recognized, like going places, setting up rings, and yeah, it is something I've thought about. Haven't had the time to do it, not really. I'm just still trying to find the time to do that type of stuff. But I'm going to find the time. It's not gonna hinder me. I'm gonna find the time. I'm gonna get out there, and I'm gonna do what I need to do to get recognized.
Okay. Um, you mentioned setting up the rings. I've had a lot of people dispute whether how important that is. Like, how important do you think it is to, as some like to say, pay your dues by
It
setting up the ring, cleaning up the floors?
it is highly important because it shows how much you love the business. It shows how much you care and how much effort you put towards the business. Versus if you just show up there just to have a match and just to get paid, do you really care about the business? Then you get a lot of us would question that. It's like, and I can see probably a lot of promoters would question that too. I feel like if you show up early, help with the ring setup, clean up, straighten up, leave, and when it's time to go, put up the ring. I've known that promoters pay attention to that, and they like, yo, I can probably have a spot for you later. You get recognized, and you'll get your name will get passed around in the good way.
Okay. Um, have you been able to gain like any championships, or is there any championships that you've been looking out for?
Have not been able to gain any championships yet. There are a couple I've been looking out for. Of course, my own school, WWA4, either one of the WWA4 championships. Would love to get my hands on one of those, or both. It's a couple of other places I've seen, especially like I said, I'm going to go back to RIPW. I've been eyeing their championships too. Like, hey, I want to, just start putting in the work towards it. I want to win some titles.
Okay. You also mentioned like earlier a couple of names of guys that have influenced you, such as Razor Ramon, Taz. Um, are there any like is there anybody currently working that's kind of like maybe a legend or somebody that you've looked up to that you'd like to face before they put the boots up?
That's something I have been thinking about for a minute. The person I have in mind, I would like to face before they hang it up. I would have to say it's actually a couple.
Okay.
One, I would say Kenny Omega.
Okay.
Two, I would say uh, 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 what was my second one? I don't know why I'm stuck on that one. Well, two, I would say go ahead and just say AR Fox. I still have yet to wrestle him yet.
Okay. That's another thing that I like to ask is Mount Rushmore, which is always difficult. Um, one of the guys actually from the four actually put Fox on there the other day, which was he was like, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it. I was like, no, that's a great answer because you never get an underground
You
answer
never get
there.
an underground answer. Yeah, you don't. You don't. You never get an underground answer from there. My Mount Rushmore. So me, I'm old school, so I have to go.
I like the old school answers.
So of course, number one, I have to go with, like I said, Razor Ramon,
Okay.
Eddie Guerrero,
Hmm.
uh, The Rock, and I'm gonna put as far as technicality, I'm gonna put D Malenko up there.
I like that. Those are good. And, like I haven't
Yeah,
got any of those. I might have got Eddie. I had Eddie the other day. Um, but that does there's never a bad answer. And I like the out Malenko, I don't think I've ever heard, which he deserves it so much. Um,
yeah,
like great answer. I just love that question though. Like,
yeah. I've always been compared to him as a, even in high school, and me and my friends are wrestling around. Everybody always compared me to Dean Malenko. I was like, oh,
okay,
but Dean Malenko has always been one of my favorite, if not my favorite technical wrestler. To me, he's like the best technical wrestler out there.
man
So
of a
yeah,
thousand holds.
yes,
Um, Something fun I like to ask you guys from the A4 is, I mean, knowing Fox, you mentioned Lucha Underground. One of the best matches in Lucha Underground history was his match against Swerve. What do you think about that match?
that match was crazy. Seeing it, oh man, I'm just playing it in my head right now. I was like, yo, they went berserk in that match. I was like, yo, from start to finish, it was like they went crazy from flipping off top of when Fox was up on top of the back and he threw him off the thing into the through the tables or whatever. Oh my gosh. It that match was crazy. That was to me, that was one of Fox's, I would say, most intense matches, I would have to
It
say.
might be like not his defining moment, but like one of the defining moments in Fox's career.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, being from or around the Atlanta area, it's a big music town. What does music mean to you? What kind of music would you say you like listening to just to get off wrestling?
My favorite type of music is, of course, hip hop, and
Okay.
I like rock, hip hop, rock, a little bit R&B. Not it. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a favorite artist?
Outkast, of course, from Atlanta. I love
Okay.
Outkast. And that's my favorite hip hop artist. Top is Outkast. I do like Wu Tang. I like Busta Rhymes. Um, as far as rock, Disturbed and Five Finger Death Punch are my two top favorites right now. And yeah, that's about it. Other than that,
You
let's go.
you mentioned Wu-Tang. My first concert was actually their 36 Chambers tour. They came up here to
36.
Chicago, and my dad took me. That was my first concert. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, I know it was. I knew it was.
My dad actually convinced me because we had general admission and VIP is up right next to the stage. He said, "Son, jump over the fence and then I'll follow you." And then he did it. Next thing I know, everybody's doing it. And it was it was dope.
That's cool. That's cool.
Do you I've heard of some, wrestlers bringing music or trying to incorporate in that into, what they do. Is that something you've done or thought about?
No, not really. Not
Okay.
really my thing.
Okay.
Compared to being like a musician or bringing music into it. Yeah, it's not. That's pretty
Not
much not
something you
me.
think about. I've heard a
Nah.
lot of guys, like I said, I've interviewed a lot of people from Atlanta, and that seems to be something that they focus on a lot. I don't know if it's the town or the area.
Down it down here in Atlanta, it is a big hip hop influence area, and a lot of guys, especially a lot of young guys, they wanna be part of that. So I mean, that's hey, they got it. They got it. They can do it. I say go for it.
Um, I talked to another guy the other day who's been able to work with the Nightmare Factory down there.
Okay.
Is that something that you've ever thought about? Maybe working over there or trying to go over there and get some reps in?
I wouldn't mind getting some reps in. I've have I thought about Nightmare Factory? I think that was actually one of my choices before I joined the A4 too.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as just getting some reps in or just going over there and putting on the show, I wouldn't mind going over there just to wrestle.
Okay. I just know like I'm just throwing this out there, but it's probably the biggest like training facility in Atlanta, if I had to
Yes,
guess.
it's the biggest one.
Okay.
I would say it's the biggest one because it was owned by. But I'm an A4 guy. I've always been an A4 guy. I'm like, yo, it may be the biggest, but I'm gonna say we the best.
Now I respect the loyalty because you don't get that all the time.
Yeah.
Um, I guess just to wrap it up, I always like to end on a word of advice. Is there anybody, I mean, not anybody, anything you'd like to say as far as whether it's personal or wrestling, just advice?
My advice would be if you have dreams, if it's something you really want to do, there's really no time limit to doing it. I'm 40 years old. I'm a wrestler. And it used to be, I thought, did I wait too late? Did I, is it, am I too old to do this? But at the end of the day, when you think about it and it's just something you really like to do, there is no time limit to doing it. It's like, look, even though we don't know when our time up is on this planet, life is too short to worry about small things. Like I said, if you want to do something and it's something you like and you love, go ahead and do it. There's no time limit to when you can do it. How? Just do it.
Okay. I appreciate it, man. And I just want to say thank you once again. Um, Maybe we'll have to do this again, maybe after you win that A4 championship.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. Hey, I
Nah,
appreciate
thank you.
that,
I
man.
appreciate it. You guys are like I mentioned off camera, the A4 has helped me out a lot. I appreciate you guys. Really
Hey, we
glad to have you
appreciate
on
you.
here, man.
Hey, thank you. We appreciate you, man. Appreciate everything you've done and just putting this on here and just getting this recognized. We really appreciate it, man. Thank you.
We're gonna make it reach as many eyes as possible.
Hey, let's do it.
All right. Uh, I guess we'll have to see you on here in the future, man.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
Sounds good.